Good evening. Welcome to Family Showdown Live Top 10. Today we're discussing those dice games of greatness. Woo woo. Hopefully. Apparently we're dropping frames. Whee! I love technology.
So our internet's on the fritz right now. So we're going to give it a shot anyway. Hopefully you guys are hearing us and we're not completely bouncing all over the place and dancing.
Let us know if we are.
Yeah, we're losing like frames like crazy, but it is what it is. So hopefully you guys can at least follow along. So,
woo woo.
That's right. Yeah, we're
good evening, peeps.
We're having
I
issues.
see people popping into chat. Woohoo!
All right, I'm gonna turn this down. I'm gonna turn as much crap off as I possibly can.
We're gonna try to fix it all for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, getting a lot of freezing. Thanks, Brent, for letting us know. Yeah, darn it. We're trying to fight that.
Yeah, there's not...
The computer is freaking out.
It's not... No, it's not the computer.
Oh, it's the internet.
Which just completely dropped.
Oh, hey. Yeah.
Alright, I think we might be back. We might be back.
Yeah, except that the internet says bad.
No, it doesn't say bad.
Well, that one says it's bad right there.
But I'm here.
Oh, Brent! What?
Alright, I think we're back. I don't know if it's working or not. It's showing that it's kind of working. So, let us know.
It says time to start doing your top 10s in person.
Alright, so it looks like for now, we're okay. So.
Alright.
Alright. So, I don't know
Let us know if things go weird. Than usual.
Oh, the camera froze.
Oh my gosh!
I'm this close to giving up, guys.
Image frozen, but can hear you at least.
Okay, so our internet's going crazy fast now. For now, the camera's not frozen. The computer's still kind of freaking out a little bit, but we're back.
But are we?
We're back for now. All right. All right, so let's just jump in, and if it dies again, we may have to...
Well, no, if it dies again, we'll call it. We'll just, next week, you get the list.
So,
yes.
So tonight we're doing the top 10 dice games.
Maybe.
This is a repeat of a list. I forgot to write the date down, but it was 2.5 years ago when we did this list last. And I watched part of the video, and a couple things. One, our setup and everything is completely different today than it was then.
I can imagine.
So, but what we did last time for dice games, because if you watched our last live show, we had a big discussion about this. Last time we just did any game that had dice in it.
You guys can tear that up now.
So it's like games with dice.
Okay.
So that was like half our collection.
Yeah, actually. Okay.
So this time around, we're going to actually do closer to dice games, but not necessarily what I would consider dice games. Full-blown dice games. Because full-blown dice games, in my opinion, is you got a handful of dice, you're rolling them, and that's basically it. You may be manipulating some cards or moving some things on the board, but dice is like everything in the game. So I'm landing closer to that, but not completely to that. I still have some games. Basically, what I did was games that dice drove the game, a major part of the game. It's not just a like resolving
side
combat or something on the side, you know, like that. So we're gonna get closer to dice games, but still, I wouldn't call this full-blown dice games. So what do you say to that?
I accept. Yeah, I basically did the same thing. It's dice is the main driver for the game, but it's not the game. Because if that's the case, I can only think of 2 games that are truly, maybe 3 games, and then be like Tumbling Dice and Liar's Dice and maybe Tokyo.
Maybe.
Tokyo?
Yeah,
maybe.
so...
that's to me,
so
that's
this is in my opinion, this is kind of a hard subject. Just like you say, what is a card game? Do you only play games that are only cards?
Yeah, exactly.
Or do it games where...
Blackjack.
where cards are like the majority of the game. Same scenario, right?
Yeah.
When you say top 10 card games, are you only saying you open the box and the only thing in there is a deck of cards and that's all you're playing with?
Then Love Letter's out because they've got little tokens.
There you go.
See? Boom.
So
So
that's what we're doing. So I have my short list is.
oh, they can cheat and zoom in. What is this nonsense? What'd you just do?
It's very long.
Good luck reading that
handwriting. And then I have a handful off to the side where I didn't think they were quite dicey enough.
Okay.
So I put those off to the side.
I'm
So I
tired.
might mention those as well. But
Okay. You should mention those. That'd be good.
what I found is that we have a large number
Of dice
of
games.
really solid
Yes, we do now.
dice games.
I agree.
Whereas
Which
the
is
last
weird.
time we did the list, and we just did games with dice in them, that list isn't. It's pretty solid, but our list wasn't near as
That
long.
definition of dice there is a bit dicey.
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 You can't steal my
I'm
puns.
good. I'm gonna roll with it, and I'm gonna keep going.
So puns make me numb, but math puns make me number.
Why?
All right,
Why?
let's get this
Why?
done before our internet drops again. All right, here we go with my number 10, starting right off with a bang. No, not bang the dice game.
That'd be funny.
My number 10 is
Don't encourage it, Lenora.
Forge.
Ooh.
Dice Forge.
Forging those dice.
Dice Forge. So we haven't played this one in a while. This is on our resolution list, still unplayed, but hopefully we'll play it soon. I actually kind of reached for it a few times, but I kind of want to play it with more than just us two.
Yeah, I can see
Because we
that.
haven't ever played it
haven't played it
more
with
than
more.
2 players.
That's true.
But Dice Forge is exactly what it sounds like. You're forging dice. So you start off with kind of a couple of clunky big dice that have various faces on them. And what you do is as the game goes by, you're going to draft and purchase, or however you want to say it, get more faces for your dice. So you actually physically pop off the sides of the dice and put a new face on it. And it's pretty straightforward, kind of easy game, but it's kind of cool to manipulate your dice. Like, do you want a really powerful one, or do you want to kind of equal them out? Do you want to go for money? When do you switch gears from going to money to getting the stuff that gives you victory points? Just a really solid dice game that's, I don't think it has an expansion yet, but I think it's in need of an expansion.
That would be really cool. I'd be intrigued by that. Yes. I'm seeing some people throwing down some good names and stuff in the chat, which is cool too.
So there it is. That's my number 10. We need to play this one again. With
Dice
with more than
Forge.
2 players. Dice
That's right.
Forge.
So, get Ness up, wake her up, let's go play.
She probably could play this game.
Actually, she could play that game. I think they'd have fun with that.
All right, what you got?
They might enjoy that, I don't know.
What you got?
My number 10.
This low and covering my face.
And so it begins. Quit
What
slouching.
your obsession
Quit
is-
slouching. You told me to make them bigger.
Actually,
You're
I
hoping-
have a lot of open space.
You do. I'm gonna start putting them on top of your
There's
head.
like all this space.
Like you're
that we're-
balancing it.
What do they call this? Dead space? What do they call this space that we're not
Yes.
using here?
Yeah, dead space.
I probably should fix that.
It's not really dead because it's our game collection, and people like to look at that stuff. Apparently.
All right, go
I got
ahead.
nothing.
I'll make it less dead space.
Oh no! Don't do that. All right. So space base. This was my Machikoro killer, as I like to call it. I enjoy Machikoro, but this game I feel like is more interactive, and I feel like it's less likely to have a crazy runaway leader problem than Machikoro seems to have. This one is so much fun for me because I enjoy working on the tableau, and depending on how the game rolls, and I swear each game, like, a number seems to come up a little more frequently than others in those games, just whatever. I'm sure there's some odds that say that's common or something, but anyway, I like to build up, and you can build a tableau on the top too that gives you benefits based on what your opponents roll versus what you roll. And I really enjoy making that balance and then deciding when to make the shift to getting all those cards and things that have the victory points on them instead, and when to like try to race for the finish, because you kind of build up that engine for a while and then all of a sudden you just take off as fast as you can for the end. And I really enjoyed that game a lot. Yes, is this the one that has Shy Pluto?
Yes.
I can't wait for Shy Pluto. I am intrigued. The name's adorable anyway, Shy Pluto. It's kind of silly, but I can't wait to see what that does with the game. I'm very curious at this point. So
Yeah, I like this game. I like it's like all engine builders. This one has a really neat balance, and all good engine builders should, where the first part of the game, you're building your engine and you're trying to get money to make your engine better and better. But some point, you have to kind of switch gears and go for the victory points. And that timing on that is so important in this game because
you'll
look up and you're still buying cards that are giving you money, and meanwhile people are victory point. Their little victory point thing is cranking up, and you're like a little behind on that. I like that in a game where you have to. And there's a lot of games out there that are like that, where you have to decide when to switch gears and things. So, cool one.
So, pretty fun.
Figured this one would be higher on your list. It's interesting.
My top 10's a little wonky tonight. I'm not going to lie.
Well, there is that. All right, my number nine. My number 9 is Rajas of the Ganges.
This low for you?
Rajas.
I'm more shocked by this than you were of mine. Rajas of the Ganges.
Rajas of the Ganges. Anyway, I like this one. This one, the reason it's so low for a couple reasons. Oh. I'm trying to decide how to word it. I'm trying to how to say it without sounding pompous. I haven't really been challenged in this game.
Oh.
No,
okay.
But seriously, the game. I think this game, and this is only my experience playing it. Well, we played it maybe 3-4 times now. This one has it seems to have a runaway leader problem.
Maybe it's just because the rest of us suck. Is that what you're trying to say?
No, that was mostly a joke. But I do think this game, there's not really very many slow down the person that's winning mechanisms.
That's true.
In this game.
That's true.
I guess a lot of Euro games are kind of like that. But this one really seems like once you get your engine going, you just kind of just speed away in this game. It's not a super long game, so it's not like that's necessarily a bad thing. But if you let someone get a strategy going and you don't do anything to slow them down, like blocking the spot that they're going to, that's making their engine churn,
someone's gonna have to hate.
You can really run away with this game. So
that's true.
But I really like it. I mean, it's a dice rolling, dice placement. It's one of those games where you're rolling dice and dice become your workers, and I like games like that, as you'll see from my list. This one has a cool mechanism, kind of going with what I was saying earlier, is that there's 2 ways to win the game. You basically can do a lot of money, or you can do a lot of fame, but you have 2 tracks, and the tracks go around the board, and when they cross, that triggers the end of the game, and whoever crosses the furthest wins the game. So it's really interesting. Like, I've played it, like I said, 3 or 4 times, and I'm about half and half doing money versus fame.
Yeah, it's cool because it's viable to do both, 3 different ways or whatever. It's kind of cool. I think it's viable. I like Rage on the Grunges.
Rage on the Grunges?
I think that's my new title for this.
Yeah, the last game I played, I did almost exclusively money.
Yeah, and I've tried different tactics too, and it seems pretty well balanced. I really enjoy that. So. What'd you find out?
They said, wow, what does Hunter sound like when he's trying to be pompous? Well, play a game with me sometime.
Oh, jeez. Why don't you play stupid Stockpile?
Well, people are starting to call me out on Stockpile because I'm not.
You're not playing it?
I'm not playing with anybody, so maybe they think I'm like that world champion that doesn't go in retirement but just doesn't do any more fights. That's what I'm kind of like. So.
Okay, please take him out. BGG Spring, I want a line of people waiting to play.
All right, that's it. I talked enough about this game. What else? What's your number 9?
My number 9 is a twofer, and I think I already saw it in the chat.
Look at this. They're covering me up.
I told you, quit slouching. See? There you go. I can slouch, you can't.
All right,
and that's Couriers / Dice
Masters.
I'm
surprised this is on your list.
Well, I got to think about it, but I mean, essentially, it is dice. If you think dice games, you really should think about Couriers and Dice Masters. Sorry. I know that they've faded into everyone's memories and stuff, but they're still solid games. They're still there. Yeah, it's maybe hard to find them or collecting them or whatever, but they're fun. They're solid. We spent a time where we were playing these like crazy.
Yeah, that's why I think I kind of cooled on them a little bit because we
played
played them to death early on.
We did, but you know what? And now when we pull them out, because it's been a while, it's like, okay, if we take the time to pull these out, then we play multiple games in a row. Yeah. And I really enjoy that.
We just played D&D, both Dice Masters.
But we played a couple games each, and it was fun. I really enjoyed doing that, and it's kind of like, now I feel like I want to play Couriers again.
Yep.
You know, I'm starting to feel like it's been a while, and I want to get back into playing it again. So, anyway,
yeah,
I really enjoy those.
This is one of the ones, not to interrupt. This is one of the ones that I would consider a true
dice game. Yeah, because you're taking
dice.
Your characters are on the dice, and there's different levels to your character, or they just have some crummy little. I'm a resource, if you roll like I do.
Right.
And so you roll them, and that's the character that you're going to use to go battle and fight the opponent. And I mean, the dice are the game. It's pretty awesome. So you can't get much more dicey than that. I probably should have put them technically as number 1 as far as the game that involves dice, because they really, you can't have the game, period. You look at the cards and say, oh, those look neat, but yeah.
Yep.
There you go.
But really, all the cards will tell you is what the dice do,
all the cards do is tell you what the dice do. It's all about the dice, so.
All about the dice.
Yeah, Tommy, you're right. If there was a Star Trek dice game that I liked, I probably would put that on the list just because.
All right, my number 8 is a game I haven't mentioned in a long, long time. Time to mention it again. That's My Village. So My Village is another one of those dice drafting games. Dice aren't really your workers, but you kind of draft dice, and then the dice, use those dice to fire off all your locations in your little village. So you basically draft cards and things, and then the cards have numbers on them, and based on what dice you draft, which of your buildings fire off to give you resources and victory points and other things. So it's a dice drafting game, but there's also cards and other things that are involved. But the dice drive everything that happens in the game. What cards you get to buy, what resources you get, that sort of thing. How the time in the game, how long the game lasts, is driven by the dice. It's a really solid game. I don't quite like it as much as Village, but I do like this one quite a bit.
Cool.
We need to play this one again.
Yeah, we do. I agree. Because I tend to, especially when we haven't played them for a while, it's going to sound bad, but I get Village and My Village, like, the names are too similar, so I get them mixed up which one is which, and I'm like, yeah, I like this game better, and they're like, oh, wait, no, it's the other one. And they're very similar. You have people that are aging, and then they croak, and you have to replace them, and it's, and
they're very similar games.
Very similar.
One's driven by dice, and the other one's a cube pusher.
And I'm like... Silly me. I always get them backwards.
So. I like this one. This is a good one.
But yeah, that's
we haven't played this one in a while.
No, we haven't.
We played it a lot when we first got it, though.
We did.
All right, what's your number 8?
My number 8 is one that I'm sure people are waiting to see on the list.
This low.
I told you my list's wonky tonight. What can I say? It is Castles of Burgundy. Yes, I said it. But it's... Again, this is a Feld game that's... driven by these dice. They set the tone for the game. They're where you can put things, what you're doing with those things, all depend upon the dice rolls. What you can get, all of that is dependent on those dice rolls, and they set the term. So you got to be able to, if you really want something that's in 2, you better have a way to manipulate the dice. If you're getting a 3 or something, or else you're not going to get that round. It's interesting. This is one of the few games where I can say that is really dice-driven that I actually enjoy, because there's so many options in that game that typically I can find a way to get something that is useful to me, even if I roll terribly. Usually. I like to have a lot of backup plans.
Yeah, but the
game.
thing about... like you kind of mentioned, the thing about Castles of Burgundy, like a 6 is no better than a 1, for the most part.
Oh, yeah.
So basically, it's just what actions you're going to take. So. Yeah, I mean, you can roll poorly in terms of, like, not getting what you want, but you can't, like, if you roll 2 6s, it's not any better than 2 1s for the most part.
No, which is nice, that helps me a lot, too.
Yeah. That's a good one. I haven't been mentioning our previous list, but we don't have any repeatos yet. So.
Are you serious? Not even Castles?
Nope.
Wow.
It was not on your list last time.
Wow. Did we not play Castles yet when we...
Yes, we did.
We did. What?
Don't know what to say. No repeatos. I'm only going to do repeatos, so no repeatos yet. I'll mention them as they show up. All right, my number 7 is a brand new game. Well, for us, it's brand new. It's been out for a little while. And that is Dinosaur Island.
Totally liquid.
We haven't played that yet.
I know, we need to play that.
Totally liquid.
We're going to add the totally liquidness to it.
So, Dinosaur Island, the dice represent different types of DNA, so you draft those dice. And like I said, you're going to see a lot of dice drafting type games on my list. So you draft those dice give you resources, those resources turn into dinosaurs, those dinosaurs turn into attractions in your theme park, and they eat people. So Dinosaur Island is the whole game revolves around drafting the right dice to get the right resources to do the things you need to do. So
it's true. It's good times. And it's got dinosaurs and hooligans.
And hooligans.
Can't be a game that's got hooligans.
I just really like this one. I think we've only played it one time. We only played it once, or we played
twice. We played it twice. And we played Duelosaur once.
Oh, you're right. We did play it twice.
Yep.
Yeah, I just really like this one. It's just I like games where there's a pool of dice that you're drafting, and you'll see a lot of this on my list because it doesn't necessarily how the dice roll. For the most part, I mean, if you get one really great die and the other ones stink, then turn order matters. But then if you have that problem, then be the first one in turn order. But everyone's drafting from the same pool. It's not like I have 3 dice and Rebecca has 3 dice and we roll them and I get all 6s and she gets all 1s and she cries and I'm happy. We're drafting from a common pool of dice.
Yeah.
And usually the only thing that differentiates them between who gets better or worse is usually turn order or who's winning. In Dinosaur Island, I believe it's a catch-up mechanism. Whoever's in last place drafts first, I think, if I recall correctly. So it's kind of a catch-up mechanism type thing, which I don't have any issue with.
Yeah.
But Rebecca really dislikes dice games where we have our individual dice and we're rolling them, and if you get a bad roll, you just get a bad roll and you deal with it. So
yeah, because that's all I do is spend the game dealing.
You spend the game dealing with it. So,
yes.
So Dinosaur Island's a really fun game if you like. It's Jurassic Park basically in a box.
Which you make it sound like that's kind of like meh. That's not meh.
Yeah, it's okay.
Totally.
No, we really like
really
this one.
good.
This is a fun one. I enjoyed it quite a bit. All right, let's move on. Your number 7.
Indeedly. My number 7, we haven't played in a while either, and I think sometimes it slips from people's memory, especially in the age of all the pandemic legacies and everything else. But Pandemic the Cure
I almost
dice,
played this solo the other night.
and it is a solid... Ooh, that would be good solo, I would think. And this is just a solid game. I really enjoy this version, and I think it's easy to teach other people how to play this. Katie went through a spell for a long time where she just loved this and wanted to play it over and over and over. And it's portable. It's pretty easy to put this together anywhere and play it, and a little less insane trying to spread everything out and set everything up like a regular Pandemic game. I like it for something different, and oddly enough. And there's so many different options with, working together, and then, okay, with the dice rolls we got, what can we do? You get opportunities to re-roll and things. You're risking that because sometimes you can get bad things that don't let you re-roll the dice, but you can kind of do all these different things and try to work the dice and manipulate and work together and go in, okay, we're going to do this to eradicate this first and plan it out. I really enjoy that. I enjoy the dice version quite a bit. Little streamlined version.
Yep, I actually prefer this over the base Pandemic game.
I can totally see that.
I like this better than
totally see that.
Base Pandemic game.
Indeed.
So someone mentioned they've been talking in the chat about Star Trek Dice game 5-Year Mission. So 5-Year Mission, I actually played that game at a con, I want to say. Rebecca I don't think Rebecca was there, or she hadn't got to the convention yet. I played it and I did not like it. It's basically, I guess it's a game called Roll For It, where you have a card and you're rolling dice and you're trying to match the card. It's like Roll For It with a pasted on Star Trek theme. It was bad.
I would rather just do Star Trek like Yahtzee.
I didn't enjoy it at all.
I don't know what that would entail unless it's
I didn't even give Rebecca the option to try it out.
You didn't want to see the intense disappointment on her face.
It was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. But that's unfortunate. I was really excited about it because I love dice. I love Star Trek. So I thought, a winner. But not so much. All right, my number 6. Let's see what it is. I don't know until it comes up. I have it written here, but I'm not going to look at that. So my number 6 is another dice game. Worker placement. Dice placement.
Oh, I knew this was going to be
The Voyages of Marco Polo. Marco Polo. So, This is a game where this is one of the Dice Hate Me games for Rebecca, is that you have your own pool of dice, you're rolling them, and you use those dice to go to various places on the board. As a worker/dice placement game. You use your dice as workers going to various parts on the board. You're collecting resources, you're moving around on the map, you're setting up trading posts, you're doing contracts, all the great Euro-y things, but with dice. I think I've cooled on this game just slightly. This used to be like, if I recall correctly, it's like a top fiver for me. But I'm slowly cooling on this game because this game, it's too short. This game is just too short. I mean, for what it is, it seems like just when you get your engine churning, you're feeling like you're doing something, you're getting things accomplished, the game's over. Right? I mean, it's right when you feel like now I can accomplish something, the game ends.
See, and I'm warming to it mostly because the dice are so terrible to me. You usually give me the guy
that lets
me pick my dice roll, and then I actually have a semi-fighting chance of competing with everyone. So, that being said, I'm like, I enjoy the game a little bit more. But, yeah, I can see that. It really does. That was my main complaint when we first started
It just seems like that game needs about 1 or 2 more rounds. And, I mean, it does take about 90 minutes. For us, about an hour, a little more over an hour, to get to the point where you feel like, oh, yeah, now my engine's going. And then I'm cranking out. I'm producing a lot of resources. I'm traveling on the board. And then, boom, that game's over with. Yeah. I'm sure it's intentional. It seems like, because a lot of people like that. A lot of people like the Euro games where it's really a struggle to get things going. And you're really grinding at it to get things happening. But I like to have a couple of turns where I got all kinds of resources and I'm doing all this crazy stuff.
It's like
and
it
doesn't seem like I ever get the opportunity to do that with Marco Polo.
That's true.
I want it a little bit longer, but I still love the game. It's one of my favorites.
I was going to say, you still like it. I know that.
Yeah. All right. What you got? Wait, we got any Rapidos? So this was, I think, the first Rapido for me.
Oh, yeah, that's gotta be.
It was my number 5 last time, and it's my number 6 this time.
Whoa, interesting.
Oh, and Pandemic the Cure, I missed that. So Pandemic the Cure was on your list. It was number 7 last time. For
wow. Hey, it was number 7 last time.
Yep, 7. 7 and 7.
That's just weird. Okay. Huh.
So there you go. Our first 2 Rapidos back to back. All right.
Ooh, I want to try Nations the dice game. That sounds like fun.
I want to try Nations the dice game.
Yeah, I'm intrigued.
I just never had a chance to play them.
All right, so we're on my number 6.
We are.
All right, my number 6 has been mentioned before, and it is Dice Forge. I really like this game.
I gotta fix.
Well, hurry up, IT.
Man,
just
you
sit
gotta
up
make
straight.
These,
sit up straight.
These...
All right, I'll make them smaller, and you're gonna say, "Oh, these are too small."
Here, let me help you out here.
All right, so Dice Forge. He already told you about it. I like the fact that you're actually forging the dice. You're making your own dice in this. You know, I've got my Mystic Veil where I'm card crafting. I didn't see what you did. I just saw it pop up on the screen. And Hunter's gone. So you're forging the dice, you know, card crafting in Mystic Veil, and now you got this dice crafting in Dice Forge. And I've always thought that it would be really cool to be able to set up a game where you put the faces on the dice the way you want them, and the game has arrived. I feel like this is one of those mechanisms that has been ignored because Dice Forge is fun, but I think you could make heavier games and do this and make it really cool. And no one's doing this.
Yeah, I mean...
It blows my mind why no one's doing this. I think it's so cool.
I don't know, people maybe think it's kind of fiddly popping the things off, and I don't know.
I don't know. I'm curious about that because I really, really enjoy this game, and I like the potential of that mechanism. It's kind of the same thing that I've probably said before with Mystic Veil. I see them being able to do this with other games at some point. I'm hoping that they'll take advantage of that, and it's going to be like someday, you know, some element in other games and stuff.
I don't know why this company hasn't come out with an adventure game or something.
Yeah,
a big.
You could do something really. Because
you could have character dice.
You could follow it. Yeah.
You could have character dice that you basically, when you get new skills, you pop off and add new edges.
Who does Dice Forge?
When you upgrade new skills, I mean, I don't know why they haven't done this.
Who does Dice Forge?
Or did I just invent a game?
You just invented a game. Call Dice Forge people.
You have like character dice that you
Do
roll
it.
when you fight and stuff, and you can pop off the sides and upgrade your skills or add new skills. And...
I see a huge amount of potential for this, and I'm just shocked that after Dice Forge came out, we haven't seen a whole bunch of people scrambling to do
Did
something
Dice
like
Forge
that.
do well?
I don't know.
There was some buzz, but I haven't heard much about it.
No, it kind of faded fast. I think because it's such a light game, I don't think it went over as well as they were expecting. I'm guessing, but
maybe. Oops.
So zombie dice. I totally forgot about zombie
All
dice.
right, my number 5. My number 5
I gotta put
has
that
already
on.
been mentioned.
That's funny.
It is the Castles of Burgundy.
Woot woot.
This was called early on in the chat, and they are correct. So this was
They know
my
us.
this was my number 8 last time. It's moved up the list to number 5.
Nice.
I think we may have just played it or just gotten it when we did this list last time.
Okay.
And so you may have completely forgot about it, and it barely made my list because we.
That's such a me.
Because I think we had just played this for the first time, pretty close to our last list. I could be wrong. But yeah, it made my list last time. Castle Burgundy, one of my favorite Stefan Feld games. A lot of people's all-time favorite Stefan Feld game. It's our introduction to Feld is the first one we got because everyone suggested that to be the first one you play.
Yep.
And we got hooked, and now we own like a whole 5 shelves of Feld games.
Yep.
But it's just a really well-balanced game. Like I said, when Rebecca was talking about it, it doesn't really matter what you roll because numbers aren't necessarily better than others, and there's plenty of ways to manipulate the dice. You can get little worker dudes, I don't know what they're called, to manipulate the dice. You can get buildings to help you manipulate the dice. There's plenty of ways to manipulate the dice. And if you roll 1s and you're hoping for a 6, the 1 probably has something that you can use, or you can kind of trick your strategy up a little bit to use it. Really enjoy this game. It's fairly quick, fairly easy to learn. It's got tile placement, which a lot of people enjoy tile placement games. It's just a really solid game. Really solid game. Really solid.
So is it solid?
It's solid.
What do you think about that? Is it solid?
It's solid. What's your number 5? It's not as cool as my number 5, I bet.
Oh, I don't know. I think it's pretty darn cool. My number 5. You don't like it as much? I enjoy it. I enjoy it quite a bit.
It's alright.
Okay.
I figured it'd be on your list, though.
Yeah, I really enjoy Role Player. And,
man, I'll get to resize this.
This is all about dice. And you roll the dice, and then, but what you roll, you need to position, and you're trying to create the first phase of it. If you get just the base game, is you're creating your character. So you're creating your, basically like your D&D stats, right? So as you're going through and you have to, it's kind of a difficult version of Sagrada. For those of you that know what Sagrada is. And you're laying them out, and they have to have a certain, like, they may need to add up to 17 for your intelligence stat, or, you know, this and that, and or you need to have a black die in your 3rd position, or there's something weird going on there, right? So you need to do all of these things and manipulate the dice so you get that. Then if you get the expansion, which I think makes the game even more exciting, is you actually get to do things with your character and those stats after the fact. You're going on adventures, missions, whatever. And
with the expansion.
With the expansion. And I really think it's a lot of fun to do that and actually do something with this character that you spend all this time belting your brain trying to make, right? It's just really solid game. It with the expansion, of course, then it takes a little bit more time, but I think the length of the game makes it fun. I don't know. I enjoy it.
Yeah,
surprisingly.
You like this one more than me. I enjoy this quite a bit. It's literally, I know this is the kind of the thing to say, but it was my number 11.
Oh, okay.
So it just missed. In fact, I had it checked and I marked it off. I unchecked it as my number 10. So it just missed the list. I think without the expansion, it wouldn't made my list. I really enjoy the adventuring aspect of it, where you actually go out and fight things and have a big boss guy you got to fight at the end.
Yep. Yep.
Just a really, really cool game. Even better with the expansion.
Right on. I did see somebody... I'm going to tell you guys my 11, 12, and 13 later, because I'm seeing some of those things going through here, and people are asking, hey, do you think this is a dice game and stuff? And I want to say yes, but I don't want to spoil the list yet.
Oh, yeah, I got lots of honorable mentions and why I didn't put them on the list and stuff.
Yeah, you've got some good stuff. So.
All right, my number 4. My number 4 is one of my new faves.
Ooh, new fave. Oh, I'm not surprised by
It
this.
is, just to keep my theme of dice drafting going, it is Coimbra. I can't roll my R's.
Coimbra.
There you go. That's a little bit better. I can't do
Bra.
that R thing. I have to do motorboat. Coimbra.
Coimbra. It's like when the little kid's trying to do it. I love it.
I
adorable.
can't do it.
That's adorable.
My Spanish teacher in high school tried to get me to do it, and I can't do it.
It's all good.
My vocals can't do those type of things.
I believe it's a hereditary thing, though.
All right. So anyway, Coimbra is a cool game where you're drafting dice. You use those dice to go out to kind of almost like worker placement type spots.
Yeah.
And you're drafting cards, and those cards are used to go up down tracks and things like that. But the main driver is the dice, because the dice not only have numbers, they have colors. And the color of the dice is important. The numbers on the dice are important. Some places you want to go, you want to have a low number. Some places you want to have a high number. Just a really, really solid Euro game with all this dice stuff going on wrapped around it.
I can't argue with that. It's good.
But it's just a solid. It's one of my favorite games of last year. It's probably top 3-ish of them.
I wouldn't be a bit surprised.
For last year. It's just really solid. If you like Euro games, you like this, and Rebecca likes this one, it has dice. So, like I said, there's ways to kind of manipulate the dice a little bit, and things like that. And it's kind of like that. Someone took a lot of cool Euro-y things, kind of put it in a blender, and added some dice, and they got Coimbra.
It is.
Because you got that moving around the map thing that a lot of the newer Euro games have. And you got the like Orleans, and I'm trying to think of some others, but they have where you're moving around to attract to do things. And then you got tracks that you're going up to, and basically you're trying to be as high as you can on some. You can't do everything, so you got to pick and choose. Okay, do I want to get lots of money? Do I want to get lots of victory points? Do I want to go with this other thing? And then they have kind of quests, I guess. I don't know what they're called, adventures, objectives, or whatever, that you opt into, kind of like if you played Terraforming Mars, where you opt into objectives. So it's like I said, it's like a mishmash of a lot of cool Euro things.
Like someone took a list of all of our favorite things that we like in Euros and put it together in a game.
Yeah,
it really
felt
like
is.
that.
A lot
We
of
were
the cool things I like about Euro games.
Everything, it's pretty awesome.
Yep.
And yes, Brent, I think you would like this game quite a bit.
Yeah, it's from the people. Am I crazy? It's the same people that made Lorenzo, I think.
It's up there.
Am I crazy?
It's up there.
But they'll see my.
You're what?
I don't know. I'm terrible with designer names.
You're better than I am.
It's the same people that made Lorenzo, which is one of my favorite Euro games.
So same people as Lorenzo Il Magnifico.
All right, there you go. So there's my number 4. It obviously wasn't on my list because it didn't exist when we made the list.
Say what? No way. Good times, good times. All right. I suspect my number 4 is going to be higher on Hunter's list just because I know how much.
See, that's the right size. That right there, that's a good size.
All right. My number 4 is Oracle of Delphi. So, Feldy goodness, but the dice drive everything in this game. They're associated with different Greek gods, and they give you superpowers, and you can go up kind of like a abilities ladder and get favors from the gods as you do that. But it also drives how you move, what you do, how much of those things you can do, and you name it, the dice kind of drive it in that game. It's really cool. I was pleasantly surprised because I was afraid because of that I was going to hate said game. But it's also not one of Feld's usual games where you're going for victory points and this is it. This is a racing game, so instead you're going to be ticking off all these different challenges that you have to do, and you have to race everyone to getting all of the challenges accomplished before everyone else does. So it's not led by victory points, and it uses dice. Go figure, right? But the challenge with that game is taking what you've rolled and then being able to maximize your moves, because as you're going to say put a statue at a temple, and you also have to go and defeat this monster on a certain island. So of course you're going to want to try to find 2 that are in close proximity to each other, so you're not backtracking. And while you're going to go head to the monster, maybe you can drop off the statue at the temple and go on to beat up the monster. And it's all about like efficiency. I love the way that game runs. It's pretty fun. So, and it's bright and colorful, and it's Greek mythology. What's not to like?
Yeah. I agree with all of that, but it might be on my list. Maybe. All right, my number 3. I don't know what my number 3 is. What my number 3? My number 3 is...
What? This low?
Oracle of Delphi! Of course. So, everything she said, plus more. So...
Plus more.
So, the dice, like you said, they're used for movement. They're used to manipulate some tracks. But there's also the Titan die that you roll at the end of the round to see if you get beat up by a Titan.
That's right, I forgot about the Titan.
And when you go fight the Titan, the monsters, you roll a die for combat fighting those guys as well.
That's true.
Lots of ways to manipulate the dice, but the dice, they're everything in this game. And one of the things I like about it, I don't know if she mentioned it because I wasn't really listening. Was I listening?
No, not usually.
I think I was messing with her.
He usually doesn't listen.
So one thing about this game is one of those games where you're interested on everyone else's turns because when they roll the dice can affect your tracks as well. So if they roll a green, a blue, and a red, you can pick one of those to move up a track on your little deity track, and once you get to the top, you get like a super crazy power that you can use
stuff,
and then it resets your track back down to 0. So you're really kind of
it's
almost like people are rooting. You're rooting for people to roll certain colors. It's
you totally are.
So if you need Neptune, you need to get up on his track. Or is that Poseidon? There you go, Poseidon. I caught it. I caught myself. Greek, Roman, it's all the same.
Oh gosh, right in the feels.
So you might be 1 point away from getting to max out your Poseidon track, which lets you like teleport to anywhere on the board. And so you're like really rooting for people to roll a certain color. So you're really interested in their turn. So it's kind of cool.
It's fun.
It's all Greek to me. I agree with that.
Oh, boo, Michael, boo.
Orca Delphi, the best Steffenfeld game.
What? Them's fighting words.
You heard it here again.
Them's fighting words. All right, my
Trajan
number
doesn't have
3. What? Hush. Kind of does.
Does it?
No. All right, my number 3 has been mentioned before. Apparently,
I'm shocked.
Even though I stink at it, apparently I like it better than Hunter does. And it's Rajas of the Ganges, or what was it, Rage Against the Grunges? I can't remember.
Rage Against the Grunges.
I think I'm going to call it that now. That's greatness.
Rajas.
Enough with your Rojo Raha, whatever it was.
Rajas.
Oh my gosh, it's the pain. The pain. For everything that he said, I'm just intrigued by the slight tweaks that they did to this game. Makes it not your typical Euro, do this thing, go down this track, win these victory points, because you've got tracks that are going in opposite directions. And you can make them meet wherever you want. Like he was saying, you could just drive that money track, so you're just making a lot of money and you barely move the popularity track. Was that what it was? Popularity? Something like that. Fame, popularity.
I think it's fame.
One of those things, right? It is really cool. So, and you might want to do a completely different tactic and do super famous, or you might want to do some nice blend of both. The fact that all of them are viable and seem to be really well balanced makes it all the more fun. So, fame. I'm gonna live forever.
Keep talking.
Yeah.
I'm pulling games off the shelf tonight. That's my thing. That's my thing tonight,
That's
I
your
guess.
thing tonight. That's exciting. So yes, Rajas of the Ganges. If you have not played that, I think you should try it. I like the uniqueness of it.
It's got tile placement too. You got some. This one was a borderline. I was like waffling on whether to put it on the list or not because it does have like a lot of tile placement and other things. You're moving a little boat around and things like that. But dice really drive.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
The game.
Gonga? Is that how you pronounce it? Gonga? For the Indian pronunciation? That's interesting.
Rajas.
Oi.
If the Ganges was in South America,
you're not going to politely decline playing any games, Hector. You'd play all these dice games. You'd play them. Although there's a lot of Euros.
My number 2. Probably my one that Rebecca poo-pooed when I mentioned it. And that is Zaya, Legends of a Drift System.
I like how you announce it like he's about to join the ring in
Let's
WWE
get ready to pirate.
What?
So
Ganga?
Okay. At first I thought to myself, it's just a roll and move game. That's not really much doing with the dice. But The dice are used for movement. The dice are used for combat. The dice are used every time you try to do anything in the game that's out of the ordinary, like if you try to go through a shield or fly into a minefield or try to harvest or salvage things. Everything, dice. You're rolling dice all over the place in this game.
It is. I just don't think of Zaya as a dice game.
It's a dice game.
I know it is, but I don't think of it that way because you got little ships and you've got cards coming out your ears for all these different things you got to do with them and your ship.
Everything, even when you go on a mission, you have to roll dice to see how well your mission does. You have to roll. You're rolling dice all the time in this game.
And you are. You really are. You're right. You're right. It's a main driving force of this game.
It's not just used for combat. It's not just used for what?
Sorry, I just saw Rojos and the Gungans.
I like that. Rojo.
Thanks for derailing that entire conversation, Tommy.
Anyway, so Zaya is a sandbox.
No, it is. It
pirate theme, space pirate theme.
Space pirates.
Space pirates.
Space pirates is probably about right.
Space
you can be explorers. You can be merchants, but you most often end up as a space pirate at some point in the game. Yes.
So yeah, it's this is another one of the ones I also thought, and I decided to throw it in there, but it's because you just roll dice for everything. In this game.
No, you're right.
You roll dice.
You're right. I just don't think of it as a dice game, so I threw it out because of that. Because I also had like 30 other games that sounded really good, and I needed to whittle it down some. Just saying. Found some dice in the sandbox. The game. I like that. That would be a dice game, right?
I mean, we use the dice so much that we actually have like 5 sets of dice in the box.
We did put
so that everyone that plays has
roll
their own set of dice because it uses 20 D20s, D12s, D8s, D10s, D6s.
Yeah.
I don't think it uses D4s, but everything else.
No.
Everything else. So
there you go.
It's a good game. Better with the expansion.
Right. All right, my number 2.
All right, I'm ready to be impressed.
It's already been mentioned, so you
it has. Hold on.
I like it a lot.
Hold on. Dinosaur Island?
Yes. A, I'm a Michael Crichton fan. Big time. B, this is like Jurassic Park, the board game. And C, it's Dinosaur Island / Dulosaur Island, because they're basically the same game. It's just levels of difficulty and involvement in those. And everything the Hunter said and more. Plus hooligans. Because hooligans.
That's your favorite part of the game.
I love the word hooligans.
Can't stop talking about the hooligans.
You've got people in the game that are like, I don't want to pay admission. This is expensive. I'm going to jump the fence to a dinosaur park. They're insane. They are insane hooligans. I love this game. And I also find it hilarious that if the dinosaurs, like your safety isn't met and the dinosaurs go rampaging through the park, they eat the paying customers first and the hooligans get away. Why? Because they're already used to running and jumping fences. That's all I gotta say. And apparently they're not loaded down with lots of extra money or anything because they didn't pay for anything. So it had no plans on paying for anything.
I think I'm with James. Like any game with hooligans would sell.
Yes. Yes. If you want me to vote with my money, add some hooligans.
Have hooligans stockpile
hooligans.
Now with
edition.
hooligans.
I would play that game every day. Every day.
That's funny.
Oh,
that's a good one. I can't argue. You got Dulosaur on here. You didn't really talk about it.
Dulosaur is just a...
that's not on my list.
It's Dinosaur Island Light. There's not much more to say about
it. That's why it shouldn't be on this list.
But it's a dice game, dude.
Yeah, I don't care.
It's not that good. It doesn't have the cool pink dinosaurs, and it doesn't have the
hooligans. I just get duded. All right, what's my number 1, folks? I'm going to pause here. Let you guys guess the number 1s. Number 1. Dice game. Number 1. You know what it is, I bet. Don't look at my list. I saw you looking.
I didn't look at your list.
Can't Stop and King of Tokyo. You don't know me very well, do you?
Yeah.
Alright, my number 1 dice game is...
Roll? Oh, duh. You haven't mentioned
Champions of Midgard!
War of the Ring.
Champions of Midgard is my number 1 dice game. I completely fell off the telling you what the numbers were previously.
Yeah, you did. You just jumped off that train.
So
fell off that wagon.
So I'll tell you next when we go through them. I'll tell you where they
landed.
From
that ship.
Champions of Midgard. Love me some Champions of Midgard. So Champion of Midgard, you were drafting dice. Common theme to a lot of my games. You're drafting those dice. Those dice are actually like warriors you're going to use in battle. So you take those warriors, you assign them to different missions. They go off on these missions. You roll the dice, and the dice you hope roll really good. If you do really good, you kill the thing you're trying to fight. You do not do so well, then if you're playing the expansion, they go to Valhalla, and you're still happy. So
that's one way to put it. Wait, I died! Oh, but I get points for that too!
Champions of Midgard. Love this game. This is an awesome game.
The expansion made that game.
Yeah, Rebecca was like, meh. And then the
No, it wasn't meh. I was like, I'll play this because you love this game. That's where I was. I'm not going to lie.
And then the expansions came out, and it's like, if you roll poorly, you at least get something.
Yes, and then I was like, yay! This game got cool again!
Yeah, the expansions just...
I
love this game. And then the expansions came out, and I was like, wow, this is like...
The game exploded.
One of the best games ever. So, love me some Champions. I'll explain what other games didn't make the top of my list when we get there. But love me some Champions of Midgard. If you have not played Champions of Midgard, if you like worker placement games, you like dice combat games, this has both, and it is so
and you like, I don't want to say dice building? Team building?
Team building?
It's a team building game with dice.
You let your dice fall back and you got to catch them.
Trust fall. Okay, Axe Warrior, it's your turn.
All right, what's your number one? Let's see if I can guess your number one. Hold on.
You can't guess my number one. You already peeked.
No, I actually hadn't looked at your list.
You didn't?
Let's see. Give me a second. Let them guess too.
Do you guys know? Do you know? You don't know.
Number one.
You don't know me.
Game. Oh, I know what it is. I got it.
Kabuki's got some that are somewhere on my list.
I got it. Give him like 2 more seconds to guess, and then I'm going to tell you what it is.
Okay. You don't got it.
I got it.
You don't got it.
I got this.
Do you?
All right, your times are up.
Okay.
Roll for the Galaxy.
Nope.
Are you Roll for the Galaxy is not on your list?
No.
Your list is invalid.
Where'd I put that?
Invalid. Invalid.
Where did Roll for the Galaxy end up? It should be on here.
Exactly. Invalid.
Yeah, well.
Okay, this is acceptable, but you totally missed Roll for the Galaxy.
Culture the dice game. No, Coimbra. I love Coimbra.
Roll. You totally missed Roll for the Galaxy.
All right, now it's my number 14.
You missed Roll for the Galaxy.
I told you I'm
because it almost made my list.
Tired. I love Roll for the Galaxy, but I really, really, really love Coimbra for all the reasons that he said. It was like when we went and played that, we literally looked at each other and said, it's like everything we like about a Euro game is included in this game, but synthesized in such a way that it's really fun and engaging instead of feeling like, we're like, oh, I wish they'd added this and that, or wish they, it was like someone custom made a fun game for us that we liked all the elements to, and I really enjoyed that about the game. So, there you go.
Yep, I love this game.
Driven. He's already told you about it. I don't want to beat you over the head with it.
I believe this is one of my pre-order horror stories because I believe we were on.
Oh my gosh!
I believe we were on the. I believe we were on the.
This is how many times
BGG cruise when we played this.
Yep.
I immediately went online and pre-ordered it. Along with some other games I pre-ordered. And one of the 3 games, I think it was 3 or 4 games, came out like 4 months late. So I had to sit and not play Coimbra for months because it was sitting on a pre-order.
Smallest violin. It does need more hooligans. I agree, Hector. This game would be much better if it had some hooligans.
This game is awesome.
Or better yet, hooligan dice. Why don't we have hooligan dice?
Hooligan dice?
Yes, for Coimbra. To make it better. I'm writing these people.
It's a color that doesn't do anything, but someone has to draft it?
Yes. It's like, when you get that dud card in your deck builder, you have some dud dice. I already get those because I roll this terribly. Hector, you understand. You've rolled some duds.
All right, you want to talk about your others?
Okay,
first?
My number 11 was Fuse. I saw people talking about that, and that one's, it's a... No, you think dice games. Fuse is a great one for that because you're disarming a bomb that's on a timer. It's a great game. And
that's twice now you've thrown this lid at me.
I did. It's better than throwing my whole book at you. And But it's
Such
great.
violence.
You're disarming a bomb or multiple bombs, but you have to do it in a certain combo and you have to roll the dice and you have to work together and it's cooperative and you have 10 minutes to do it. And if you're using the app, it kind of smack talks you while you're doing it. It's really awesome. I love that game. My number 12 is Strike. Oh, I killed him.
Excuse me. Not a game.
That is so a game, and it's the best game. It's gladiators in an arena. Or something like that.
No.
Yes, it is.
No.
It's so awesome. Yes, it is. Okay. And then my 13 is Artifacts Inc. Because Artifacts Inc. is awesome. I saw people talking about it at some point, I think. And then, of course, Roll for the Galaxy.
Huh.
Because I love Roll for the Galaxy, actually a lot.
All right, so I got a lot to go over, so I'm gonna do it in a random order. So the first thing I want to talk about is the ones I didn't think were dicey enough.
Okay.
So they didn't make the list because they were not dicey enough.
Okay.
Twilight Imperium, War of the Ring, Macau, Colosseum, Battle of Five Armies, Jamaica,
Ooh.
Star Trek Fleet Captains,
Yeah. I'd agree
and
with
Star
that.
Trek Ascendancy.
I'd agree with those.
So those
The only one I'm iffy about is Jamaica.
But you only use it for combat. That's it.
No, you don't. You have the day and night dice, too.
Oh, whatever.
There's 2 sets of dice in that game. You can't get much dicier than that except for to use those instead of cards, period.
All right, I'm going to quickly go through my honorable mentions really quickly. Roll for the Galaxy, Stone Age, Alien Frontiers, Role Player, King of Tokyo, Pandemic the Cure, Camel Up, Dice Masters, Space Base, Tumbling Dice, Quarriors, Merlin, Artifacts Inc., and Blood Bowl.
That's excellent. Let's see if you named or I have any that Zombie Dice. You didn't mention Zombie Dice. That's a fantastic dice game.
It's a game.
Tumbling Dice, and then Zombie Dice, baby.
All right, here's our list from last time. Remember last time's
Dice
list?
Forge rocks.
Last time's list is games with dice, not necessarily dice games.
All right, bring it.
So here we go. My number 10, Tumbling Dice. Number 9, Artifacts Inc.
Okay.
Number 8, Castles of Burgundy, which is my number 5 this time. Number 7, Merchants and Marauders. Number 6, Dice Masters. Number 5, Voyages of Marco Polo, which is my number 6 this time. Number 4, Champions of Midgard, which is my number uno this time. Number 3, Zaya, which was my number 2 this time. Number 2, Quarriors, which have cooled on greatly.
Lady.
Rebecca mentioned it, though. And number 1, War of the Ring, which didn't make my list because not enough dice.
And the dog now has a toy.
Oh, well.
I saw you tried to hide some up on the
I
table,
did. She
and the
found
dog found another one.
All right, Rebecca's list last time. Number 10, Unspeakable Words. Number 9, Dice Town. Number 8, Tumbling Dice. Number 7, Pandemic the Cure, which was your number 7 again.
Yep.
Number 6, Escape.
Escape. I love Escape.
Number 5,
Did we
King of
mention that?
Tokyo.
I had that on here.
Number
oh, yeah,
4,
it is. I have it here.
Alien Frontiers. Number 3, Artifacts Inc. Number 2, Zaya. Number 1, last time, was
Roll for the Galaxy.
Roll for the Galaxy. Went from number 1 off your list. That's so strange.
Whatever. I had Escape on my short list also. And that's another one
You
that's
talk a
like,
little bit.
I think
I gotta
Kabuki,
get
you
this
mentioned
away.
something that was a timed game. And that game is great. Escape. You all know what I'm talking about if you've played that game. The sound effect on that is fantastic. And you're rolling dice cooperatively trying to get combinations and stuff to get through the rooms and get artifacts and stuff.
under the desk.
I know. Ta-da! Wow, that thing's seen better days. Lady found the other toy that you didn't hide that has a squeaker on it, and now she's going to be dying to get that thing. So yeah, those are some. Oh, Farkle. My family played that forever and ever and ever. It had a different name though. It was called Bupkis, I think, back when we played it. But yep, played that. I have not played Viva Java, but yes, it does have a lot of colons. I agree. That's a good one. And ooh, King of Tokyo. Yes, I didn't put that on here because I figured everybody at this point. To me, that game was so universally a dice game. I didn't even put it on my short list.
It made my short list.
Make yours. I was like, oh,
This is in my long list of honorable mentions somewhere.
yeah.
All right, folks, there it is. Our top 10 dice games. So this is our normal day. If you're stopping by, Wednesday nights are not a normal night. We normally do Tuesday night. I was going to go out of town. I ended up not going out of town for all kinds of long and convoluted reasons. But we left it. We didn't want to change it last minute back to Tuesday. So Next time we'll be back on our normal Tuesday. We'll have our resolution update.
Ooh.
We haven't played a lot of games, but we played some games. So
maybe we'll play more. Dun, dun,
we may play more this weekend. So resolution update is next Tuesday.
Ooh, can't stop.
The Tuesday after that, we're doing our top 10 games that take 30 minutes or less.
Ooh.
And it's a repeato list from 2016, I believe. So
wow, 3 years old. That'll be interesting.
Top 10 games, 30 minutes or less. I think I stretched the 30 minutes thing last time. I'll be a little bit more strict with myself this time.
Oh, really?
Because BGG, I think I really want to do actual playtime and not what's listed on the box and / what's BGG has. So, because I think I put Trek into National Parks on my list last time, and
that's not a 30-minute.
That's not a 30-minute game. So, but that's what it shows on BGG.
Filthy
I believe.
cheater.
So, next Tuesday, resolution update. Tuesday after that, top 10 games, 30 minutes or less.
Very cool. Very cool.
And,
glad to see you too, James.
And just to do some updateness, Nessa, we planned on Nessa's list being coming out this week, but we didn't get it filmed last week for multitude of reasons.
Lots of crazy reasons.
Lots of crazy reasons we didn't do it last weekend. Hopefully we'll get that soon. Her list is made and ready to go. I don't know what it's going to be because
I'm the only one that knows.
I wanted to be surprised.
I'm excited
with her list. I think we'll do the usual. Rebecca will sit with Nessa and they'll go over her list. So look for that soon-ish. Hopefully we'll film it this weekend and then we'll release it sometime next week.
Yep. I'll keep you posted.
What else? Talking Tower on Dice Tower.
I haven't done anything since then. Board Game Breakfast.
I started a new series over on Board Game Breakfast.
Yeah, you gotta check that out.
I did. I'm doing the most popular game on Board Game Geek by year, starting with 1970. So there's that.
That's gonna be awesome.
So I was having trouble coming up with a segment every week for by the numbers because it's not easy to come up with an idea, and B, they usually take a lot of research and math, more than you would think. What I do on because what you see, the 2 minutes you see on Board Game Breakfast is really condensed down from what I put together because I'm only allowed 2 minutes, so I have to really reduce it down. But I do a lot of research. So there's a new series to fill in the blanks between my episodes. So I thought this would be a fun idea.
All right, we're keeping that show 30 minutes next week too. They think that'd be hilarious and thematic, so we're gonna.
So we have to do the list in under 30 minutes?
Yep. Let's do it.
We can do that. That's kind of thematic, right?
Can.
So our video.
Then you guys can get off early to knit or something. I don't know. Yeah.
So.
You have more?
No, I was going to apologize for the video technical problems. Our internet was just completely insane.
No, we shouldn't apologize. You should ask Suddenlink to apologize.
Yeah,
apologize now. Bad Suddenlink.
Suddenlink.
Bad.
So yeah, our internet, it's really strange. It works just fine, and then it just flips out for like a couple minutes, and then it's just fine again. It's so weird. They claim the nodes get overloaded, and I don't know what's going on.
Overload some nodes.
But anyway, so hopefully we won't have those difficulties in the future. But anyway, get us out of here.
Bye. I don't know why you always ask me to do that. It was lovely hanging out with you guys and catching up again. Glad the internet behaved itself long enough that we could all chat. See you next week. So long, farewell.
Come see us at BGG Spring.
That's coming up soon.
Bye.
Thought everything was better in
Roll for
Texas.
the Galaxy.